Dave and I have submitted our lists of the 20 most important Seahawks to success this coming season. So did this before the preseason game, so nothing has changed. We have worked our way up to number 12 and 11, doing 2 a day. So at number 12, I'll just start with my guy, Boye Mafe. I've got at number 12, and I think he's kind of self-explanatory. He's going to be huge for this defense. He had a streak last year of 7 games in a row with at least 1 sack. So he's a guy I think is just barely scratching the surface of his potential. I'll always remember Bruce Irvin being asked about Darrell Taylor in a post-game press conference, and he commented on him, but diverted his attention to Boye Mafe unsolicited. Nobody prompted him. He just went there. And that, kind of perked up my ears at that moment, and he's lived up to that, kind of praise he was getting from Bruce Irvin. And here Boye explains why he's so excited to be playing in this new defense.
It's very, this is probably going to be the most versatile we've been used since I've been in Seattle. And I think that the biggest thing that I love about this defense is that you can do so many different things in one spot. It doesn't matter where you are in the field. Your assignment can always move, and your responsibility can always be different. So to me, I think that's the beauty of it, is that you're not doing one job and one job only. There's so many ways you can be moved around, different positions. Just because you're in one spot doesn't mean you have to do that job. You can, however coach wants to use us, he can really just move us around and manipulate and make different pictures for the quarterback. And ultimately that's going to help, especially in pass rush, having different pictures for the quarterback and making sure that as a player you have more time. That's one of the most frustrating things as a pass rusher. You get off the edge, you have a great move, and then you reach out and the ball's gone. But with the way that our defense is going now, I feel like we're just going to make quarterbacks pat the ball, make us get a little bit more time in that standpoint.
He had a nice play in that San Diego game, knocking the pass down. He is maybe the most impressive-looking football player in a uniform. Like, some guys, I look terrible in a uniform. I don't know why. It's just always like, just some of those guys that just look good, like Howie Long. You remember?
Yeah.
And you look at Boye, man, he is just, 6'4", 265, zero body fat. I mean, he is just an impressive-looking player and one of the nicer guys and one of the smarter football players that I've ever been around. So, yeah, good for him. I think it's important that he gets lots of sacks off the edge. He seems to be, of all the guys we've talked to and heard from, he seems to be the guy that is most excited about the new defensive scheme.
Yeah, and they all seem excited, and the idea that they're asking him to do a bunch of different things. He seems to be excited about that, and we've seen his potential. So I'm can't wait to see what he does with this defense, what they ask him to do, how effective or more effective he can be. Because I feel like he really is just scratching the surface. So he's my number 12. Who's your number 12?
Well, I don't know about this one now, Bob. I have Olu Oluwatimi, and I'm not sure. You brought this up the other day, and I'd forgotten about this, that he won all of those awards, like the Bednarik Award, I think it was,
Remington and the Outland.
Yeah, whatever the lineman. I think one's for center and the other's for interior line or something like that. So. Yeah, why was he picked in the 5th round? So, and I don't know, maybe that's what we're seeing. They traded away Nick Harris, and, they now have Connor Williams in there. And so I'm thinking that might be the guy that they're looking to play center. But, I was hoping that Olu kind of grabbed that job by the throat. And I thought it was important for him to do that. But now, since we put this list together, they've made that move. So, yeah, still, I think he's a very smart player. I thought he played pretty well last year in the Detroit game. I remember on a touchdown down on the goal line where he comes off, hits the nose guard, goes up to the linebacker. Basically, the running back ran behind him and
just
scored a touchdown.
Path.
Yeah. So, I think you've seen a little bit of that from him at practice. So, we'll see, but maybe that you could replace him at this number, maybe with Connor Williams. I just think the thing, and we didn't get to this with Ray, because Ray Roberts always says you need somebody who is a PhD at that position. And again, I think that all of a sudden you start to look at the history of the Seahawks, even just going back like 15 years. Really, there hasn't been a dominant center really.
Outside of Max Unger
since
and maybe
Unger
Britt.
left. Yeah, maybe Justin Britt a little bit, but yeah, his was interesting because he drafted as a tackle, didn't play great at tackle. They moved him to guard, played pretty well at guard, and then went to center and was great. And he was actually a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really an important position. And but one thing Ray will tell you that if you have a really good guard, he can sort of compensate for some of the things, any kind of weaknesses from the center. But I guess, you might replace this one, Olu, with just center position.
Yeah.
Whoever that is, I think it's really important.
Well, here's Olu talking about what he learned from his first NFL action last season.
Luckily, like the games that I played in, we weren't like down by a lot games that I played in, I think we ended up winning. We were able to win 3 of the 4 games that I got offensive snaps in. So that's always better for offense linemen, just because if you're down and the game gets really tough, the game really shrinks, and you feel like people are just barreling in on you just because you're just sending pass for the whole day. But, I just learned that D linemen are crafty. They're powerful. They have great length. They know how to get to the spot that they want to get to put you under pressure and things of that nature. So just knowing that you have to combat that on each down. So those are the things that I learned from my time last year, and I'm, just taking it now into training camp because, if I'm being honest, I think training camp is probably the hardest time of the year. We got some great D-line. We got Leo, we got Jay Reed, we got Draymond, we got
you got the
Byron,
little fire hydrant with legs that they took in the first round.
Yeah,
really fun in pads.
Yeah.
I like that he doesn't trust defensive linemen. You heard what he said there. He said they're crafty.
They're crafty.
He doesn't trust them.
They're sneaky.
They are sneaky. Oh, that was interesting. All right, Bob, who you got at number 11?
My number 11 is Byron Murphy. Yeah, I think he's obviously drafted in that spot as a guy that they have a lot of expectation from. He was considered by, I'd say, most to be maybe the preeminent defensive player. He was the second defensive player taken in the draft, right? Wasn't there one?
Yeah, the outside rusher
from UCLA.
UCLA, Latu. Yeah,
yeah.
I thought he was the best defensive player in the draft, but he's got the neck problem.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got a guy in Murphy that everybody's very high on, very excited about, and Mike Macdonald talking about him here and how he thought Murphy played in his first preseason game.
Yeah, it was great to see him make a couple plays. First game action, he was all juiced, and the guys were excited for him, so that was cool to see.
I like this kid. He had that chance to get a sack the other night, and I thought, you know what, you need to have those kinds of experiences. That's something in the preseason, just kind of and you could see him clapping his hands afterwards, like I should have had that.
What did he do wrong there? Because sometimes the quarterback they step out of it, they make a play. I mean, was it his angle? How would you coach him on that to rectify that?
Pretty easy. Like, you got to wrap everybody up in the NFL. So, I mean, look, I would say this, like, that play, that was a great learning experience for him. Like, I'm glad that happened to him. Mm-hmm. Not that I want him to miss a sack, but that just kind of is a welcome to the NFL moment where it's like, okay, remember, I always talk about this, that nobody ever corrects you in college when everything's working. Like, you're the best defensive player in the country. We don't really need to coach you up that much. And you get in the NFL, and all of a sudden, everybody's just a little bit better. So, yeah, I think that was just wrap up, man. And just realize that, it's harder to bring guys down in the NFL. I mean, when you're in high school, you could just pretty much blast everybody. You get into college, and you're better than most. And then you get in the NFL, everybody's the same. So, it's much more difficult, and that was a good learning moment for him.
Your number 11 is
Ken Walker, K9, and I think he's about to have a really good breakout year. So I'm really excited. I want to see him be the player that he was in college and the way that he dominated, and I think they're going to give him an opportunity. I like the run game. I think they got a really good offensive line coach, and I feel like everybody. Scott Huff, who did a great job at UW, I think he was. Is that where he came from? I believe he did. So anyway, that was. And then he's got a great running back coach, Kennedy Polamalu, who I've known for a while, and I think it's his year. It's his time to break out.
All right, there you go. We are working our way through the 20 most important Seahawks for this upcoming season as far as their success goes. So we'll continue that throughout